Purpose of Discord tournaments will always still be lost to me. I don't understand why people still do them in 2024, bro. It's like, dude, look, this is not the tournament of power. Please wrap it up. Oh, understand. Wait, do I have to? I have to restart. No, that's deep. But what's it called? It's like, look, we're not in the tournament of power anymore. Like, we are in. I don't know what's going on. This isn't Uni 7. This is a like D plus. No, no, bro. Tournament isn't working. Ignore my really bad like skills, hobby skills, however they call them. But the entire point is like every single tournament is bound to fail. Now, the reason I'm specifically talking about this is because there's a specific tournament that's going on that's supposed to be a 3v3. And like, there's no interesting people, if you get what I mean. It's like the only interesting people is like goons and what's it called, goons and Mason and like maybe Julian, right? That's if Julian decides to lock in 200% that day. And it's like, dude, if those are the only interesting people, why would anyone be interested in hearing, haha, Archie yells at his opponents for the 16th time today? Oh my goodness, Archie's so rhetorical. Oh my god, that's my tier 1. And it's like, dude, I don't understand how you can listen to somebody say why over and over again, right? And then expect me to like give them any value. Like I've noticed that most of my tier lists that I make is almost like universally disagreed upon, and everyone says it's bad, and they're like, oh yeah, let me drop heat. And then the people who are arguing about my tier list before, then they'll start arguing about each other's tier list, because they realize that no, it isn't that the tier list is bad, it's just that you don't like it, and any other tier list that isn't your own, you also hold these same feelings as well. So it's like, should I really value that? And the answer is no. So at the same time, like I think I have a pretty semi-decent explanation as to most of the placements on my tier list. Like for example, I have like T-Jump really low, and in the fiction community, people don't tend to actually agree that T-Jump is really that low. However, in almost every other community I go to, it's also generally agreed upon that T-Jump isn't actually that good. Now, T-Jump's maybe taking a little hiatus off of the app, and I think it's because, he's like 63 billion years old. And, but the entire point I'm trying to get at here very specifically is just like, um, people in the app have very very different value systems, and it's like, for example, and also people on this app also tend to have a very very hard time leaving their comfort zones. So I saw, for example, Godly debate Cynthia on trans, or like pretty sure it was like whether or not trans people should be allowed in sports. And then it's like, dude, there's no way you expect to win that, right? And then he debated him, and then if I rewatched it recently, and it's like, this guy just did really bad. And I think there's this like explains why most people don't actually enjoy leaving their comfort zones. E.g., you won't find many Naruto debaters go from Naruto to JJK, and then even if they make that jump, you won't find them go from JJK to, like, let's say, start debating or start even looking into our own philosophy. And one of the major reasons as to why that is because there's this weird, very weird stigma that philosophy debaters have, and it's in part like people in this community's fault as well. It's like, oh my god, you used to debate anime, you can't be taken seriously at all. And the reason why is because, my head touched it, so yeah, the reason why is because generally people in this community have displayed that they have, like, not only just like, because you can say, oh, this, like, for example, set the programmer Six and them boys, right? You could say that the way they debate is like appealing beyond their time. So even if it wasn't appealing to them boys then, right, it's appealing now. And you could say that, but my main point is just like, what's it called? The reason that is appealing beyond their time very specifically is because it's just that, like, most people during their time were just really bad. So for example, you see somebody who I should say has like above average prominence, like Tigger, and like if you realize Tigger is an idiot or shouldn't be listened to about any aspect of philosophy, right? So then it's like, okay, look, why should how are these people gaining prominence? And then if you notice, and you also look at other people there, and then you look at, for example, Noodles, and you also realize that Noodles is also an idiot. And then you see that, oh my goodness, but people who are considered really smart are losing to Noodles, right? And it's like, okay, maybe, just maybe, these people who are considered to be really smart are actually just not really smart, if you get what I mean. And for example, you see noodles go and say that induction can be used because induction can be used to justify racism, and it's like, okay, bro. I see why people outside this community think we're idiots now, and it's because there's just such a loud, but like a loud minority of people. Well, I'm not gonna say minority because certain times with this app, it's actually a majority. So there's a semi-loud majority of people on this app who just don't know anything. They're like very confused, and it's like, it's not even like I'm going to sit here and say that I know a lot of stuff, because in reality I don't even think I know a lot of stuff. Like, C knows way more than me, Julian knows way more than me, but like the issue is, it's like at least you have to know something, right? At least you have to like, if somebody asks me what induction was, I won't just be like flabbergasted, right? But then if you ask somebody, or if somebody asks me to like say what modus ponens is, like I won't be like stun locked, right? But then you can't really say this type of things for like other people in the community. Like, I don't understand how is noodles, because most of the time if you notice, like for example in Aeroflame versus Taurus's debate, right, which they're supposed to be some of the most competent people ever, Taurus was trying to say, yeah, Error, you can't just say your position is more probable because you said it is the case, and therefore if I just say that it might possibly not be the case, then what's it called, then you're wrong. And it's like, one, that is even how that works. Just because something is possible, and like, yeah, my claim can be possibly false in another world, does not mean that it's wrong in this world. So I can still say it is the case. And two, like most of the time whenever people are saying this thing is like the case, right, they're usually talking about probability, an extremely high probability, rather than like rather than just some weird like 100% certainty type thing. Because of course if I say it is going to rain today, right, of course it's like there's a non-zero probability of like of me just being massively mistaken and it not raining today, right? However, it's like, yeah, but I won't take that into account unless there's good reason to. So in the same way, whenever like people, and the issue is, right, I don't even want to like meta analyze what was said in that debate because it doesn't really matter to me. The entire point is that like the what's it called, the fact that Aeroflame, or I'm pretty sure from what I remember, I might be wrong, was just like struggling somewhat to refute there, and it's like, dude, how long has this guy been debating? Because I know he does like debate in real life too, and it's like, are you telling me they let you get away with the fact that you don't know how to refute like basic elementary level arguments? And it's like, you know. Also, I realized that like what's it called? As I've increased the demographic of people I'm talking to, some people think I use the word substance wrong. So usually I use the word substance to mean just general argumentation, right? Some people don't think substance is that. Some people think that like knowledge, or what's it called, how right you are and what you're saying counts as substance, and it's like well, then I don't even know. Like the judging system seems to be really bad. Like I realized that more people need to like just let go of the entire idea of judges, because it's like, why are you going to determine whether or not you quote unquote, why are you going to set your standard of who won or who lost based off of like somebody else's opinion, when somebody smarter can come along and they'll say, no, this guy's wrong. And then what's it called? Even if your opinion doesn't change, it's like, who are you more likely to believe? The smarter guy or the dumb guy who was just agreed upon, and that's his only claim to validity. And it's like, I don't really think say being agreed upon really means that much. It's like, if I agree that this elementary school level doctor should give me CPR, right, and then some what's it called? Some PhD comes in with like 10 billion years of life experience, comes in and says, no, you're doing it all wrong. In reality, it's this way. And this is the outcome. And then, am I supposed to listen to the first one because I agreed to him? No, of course not. It's like, when you need to, like, I think more people need to do is just surround themselves with smarter people. And then once you surround yourself with smarter people who aren't actually fear hacks and like afraid to say you lost, then you'll like actually be able to fly. Also, like I realized, if you what's it called, there's a recording of me be like yelling at Ryan Harrison Jr. and it's like, low key, I might do that again, because I was in Skypiea and I was on an ult because Archie's throwing a temper tantrum, right? So I was on an ult, and then I was listening to the call, randomly, this Ryan guy, keep in mind, Ryan is like 20, I'm 16. Like, so this Ryan guy just randomly brings up my name, and it's like, oh my god, you heard what that Shinra guy said? And it's like, dude, I don't know you. We're not friends. It's not like we hang out on a day-to-day basis that I'm comfortable with you mentioning my name in public or like in a call, right? Without me knowing or quote unquote knowing, right? And it's like, how do people develop such an obsession with other human beings on Discord? And it's like, how do you like go out of your way? Because whenever I'm speaking to C, whenever I'm speaking to like people like in private service that I like hang out with on occasion, you don't see me randomly start quoting Sakazuki and being like, that guy's such a dumb fuck, right? Because even though I do think he's a dumb fuck, right? It's like, but why would I ever do that? You know, like, in fact, I'm never gonna say Sakazuki is like a dumb. He's dumb because in reality he isn't. But if I think say Sakazuki is really bad, Sakazuki is really bad. You know, and it's like, why would I ever go out of my way to quote this guy? It's like unless something's happened or something's motivated me to do so, right? Or for example, somebody else brings me up or brings him up. But it's like I wasn't even brought up, and it's like, how does this come to his head? Just like, does he think to himself that this is going to be a good conversation starter, you know? And it's like really odd. Also, I realized that loads of the people in the CrossFit community, they just be saying words, you know, like what's it called? I saw Eric in a call, and I was like, yo, let me talk to Eric. And then what's it called? I see he's listening to a smoothie. He's listening to a smoothie debate. And then I get into the VC. Keep in mind, they're debating like a CrossFit topic. I get in VC and I hear them talking about ontological like parasites, and it's like, dude, what the hell do you mean that like talking about ontological parasites? One, you don't know what that means, right? And two, it's like, I don't know. It's just very confusing. It's like people just say words and like they just misuse definitions, and it's just like very very like confusing to me, you know. And I realized that like again, most like people who are in the side community of like fiction debating, right? They what's it called? They fall into the same spiral that I brought up in my other video. Where I was like, you know this guy is better than you. You know it like deep down in your heart. You know that yeah, if I debate this guy, I'm just gonna blood clot lose, right? And then they still debate the person, and because they like are angry, because usually most of the time it's like somebody in the main community comes around, calls somebody in the side community a random, which most of the time they are, right? And it's like, you know, you're worse than this guy, and because they are so angry at the fact that this other guy called him a random, effectively like ruining his Discord debate pride, right? Then you like he chooses to basically just crash out and like what's it called? Oh, that's almost corny. But basically just like tweak and like just start screaming at the other guy, and most of the time they don't even like progress anywhere. So I've seen this with like major examples like official, and it's like I don't think I've ever heard a intelligent thing come out of official's mouth. And like, and two is just like there are certain critiques that are like beyond, that are like beneath you, right? So when you realize, like when most people in the community realize that like, okay, there are certain like three. Let me think for a second. Confirm the best to prove, and what's it called? The best to reinforce. Yeah, there's like three types of there are three reasons people have whenever they go into debates, right? One of them you could say is for fun, but like most of the time it isn't for fun. So like nobody cares. Look, like we get it. You're trying to seem nonchalant. No, we know what you are. But the first one is debates to prove, where you are going into debate not to learn anything. You're going into the debate to establish that you're better than the other guy, right? And you're going into the debate to show off your skill level, right? Then there's debates to like what's it called? Then there's debates to silence, Where somebody, for example, has like this is like a subcategory of debates to prove. There's debates to silence is like somebody else has been talking on you, right, saying you're really really bad, and you aren't really beating him to show your skill off. You're just beating him to show him that he's bad compared to you. So there are debates to silence, where you're supposed to silence your critics, silence like people who are down you. The debates to establish, where like you're debating to show people who you are, because usually whenever these things happen, or usually whenever debates to establish happen, it's like somebody new into the community. So there's debates to establish, right? Then I'm pretty sure, let me think one more time. Yeah, the debates to reinforce as well, where it's like, because of course sometimes whenever you're debating, like people are going to start like looking down on you in a sense, right? And people are going to start like saying, oh, you're worse than you think you are. So another time people debate tends to be, oh, you are trying to reinforce that you're actually this level, right? Even though everyone is saying that, what's it called, saying that you aren't at this level. So there are debates to reinforce. And finally the base for fun. But this can even apply to the like IRL community, like to or the philosophy community. It's like, most of the time that's mainly the main motivation behind them debating. Now you can say when they discuss with each other, or they just bounce ideas off of each other, right? Then they are exempt from all of these rules. But usually whenever, for example, if I see Mason debating Goons, for example, the entire reason why they're probably going to debating is, one, Goons is probably going to try and like establish again to everyone, quote unquote, that he's better than Mason. And the reason why Mason would be doing it, if like let's say assume Mason is like considered to be worse than Goons, right? If Mason is like doing it, then it's like Mason is probably doing it to prove that he's actually better than Goons or something, right? Or like just do his best, So again, those type of dynamics, they just happen everywhere. And usually in the side communities, they usually fall into debates to prove, where they're always trying to like prove that they're at this certain level. And because they're always trying to prove that, they tend to just keep debating the same people over and over and over again, right? And because they keep debating the same people over and over and over again, right, you notice that it doesn't really tend to be some significant improvement. Now, if you notice, what they do from there is they actually go and they try and ask people from the main community, or ask people who like don't just sit in like SciComm servers all the time for help. And then if you notice, once they do, you notice that they've gotten rapid improvement. And the reason why isn't because he's super talented. No, it's like if I keep you keep trying to force yourself to run, but then you forget that you have legs. And then once you realize you have legs, you notice that all of a sudden you're able to run and learn how to run really really quickly. So in the same way, it's like these people are just applying themselves wrong. They keep debating the same people, and it's like, I get it, like at some point, or it gets annoying, but it's like if you keep debating them, and this is what happened when back a year ago, when I was debating Tywin and them boys, and it was like, what's it called? Supposedly it was supposed to be like a deadlock, where it was like Tywin's the worst, I'm the best, and there was like some clear ranking. I forgot which one it is, and it's like if I kept debating those same people, then my like reputation would just be aligned with those same people. Now I see people mention it now, but it's like, of course they're mentioning it in an ironic manner because they know that I'm better than the other guy. But again, that's literally it. I have what's it called? Because I'm not in Skypiea, there's not a lot for me to complain about. So I don't know how I'll patch that error. I'm not going back there, but again, I'll think of more things to talk about eventually. Like video, like subscribe. You know how it is. I don't put much effort into this. So goodbye. Shoo.